Okay, hi Control Freak. I reached out to a few of you guys to ask what you wish you learned in sex ed. So I decided to answer the question with my partner. I don't know. I wasn't taught how to properly put on a condom.
I never took sex ed, but if I did, I would ask the teacher, how do I make a girl squirt?
What up, Control Freak? I'm just answering your question about what do you wish you would have learned in sex ed. I wish that I would have learned that sexuality is fluid and can change at any moment. It's all based off of circumstance and yourself.
Hey, Control Freak. It's your girl, Gato. What I wish I learned in sex ed class. That sex is pleasurable. Yeah. I wish they wouldn't have scared us so much, but I'm glad they did. Because, you learn and you take precautions and all those shenanigans. I wish they would have been more open about, sexuality. Because everybody has their own taste, like I do. And that's about it. I mean, you learn something new every day, especially when you follow Control Freak.
Hey, hello. How y'all doing, Control Freaks fans? I hope y'all still safe during this pandemic. What I wish I learned in sex education is the importance to please your partner. And I think this will go a long way.
Hi, Control Freak family. If I could make a wish of what sex ed could have taught me much better, would be self-love is the best love when it comes to owning and loving your vagina. I just think it's just a power in being able to love on yourself. It just really is. And it goes beyond sexual relations. It's just intimacy in a whole different level. And I love myself very much.
What do I wish I learned in sex ed? Truthfully, coming from a person who had their first child at 16, I wish in sex ed they taught us more about how expensive it is to raise a child, how expensive it is to have a child. I think the sight of that gets lost a lot by young children having children. They think it's cool, they might look at it as a baby doll. They don't understand. School is expensive. Housing is expensive. Medical is very expensive. So I wish that sex ed taught us about money management and taught us about how expensive a child really can get. Shout out to my people over at Control Freak. Much love and respect. Y'all continue to do y'all thing. Salute.
I wish they would have taught about same-sex intercourse because I never learned about dental dams or that I could get an STD from a woman. I thought it was only from a male to a woman. I learned later in life through my own research that I could get an STD from a woman, but they didn't teach that in sex ed. So I wish they would have been more inclusive as far as same-sex intercourse.
That part. I wish that they would have let me know that there were different vagina types. I didn't know that they looked different. They came in different sizes and proportions. The only diagram that I ever saw was that same weird diagram that we all got. They don't look like any vagina that's been in any porn that my father ever introduced me to when I was in second grade learning about these things. So don't laugh at me. So I just wish they would have taught me that. Yeah.
I wish I learned how to eat pussy early, because
the whole men need to learn the whole anatomy of pussy.
Yeah, I need to know. I wanted to know like that trick in there while you eating. I wish I would have known how to really pleasure. It took me a long time. I was fucking
So my really good friend of mine, Control Freak, asked me what I would have liked to learn during sex ed. I feel like we were taught little to nothing besides the different body parts that we have as male and female, our periods, fluids that we produce when we start becoming, sexually active or horny. But I feel like there's a lot more to that. I feel like we should have learned more in regards to not feeling ashamed and feeling comfortable and how to make each other feel comfortable. We should never have or never should degrade the person that we're with. I definitely think that it is something that's important because right now in today's society we're going through a lot of bullying and putting people down and bashing people and just trolling, and I think that that's very negative towards people and how they feel when are people in general, whether you have, good self-confidence or not. Everybody has a little bit of complexes, and I feel like when somebody else brings them out, especially when you were intimate with someone and they start to share that information, I think it becomes even harsher. I also think that people should be taught that everybody's body parts are different. For example, some women's boobs are pointier, some are saggier, some are rounder and more lifted, and this is completely irrelevant of whether or not you have had children. Some people have had no children and just don't have the best set of boobs. I think that if we were taught this at a very young age, then maybe we wouldn't make fun of people so much in general. Some men have crooked penises. That's completely normal as well. Some men have, pencil dicks, as we like to call them. And nobody obviously wants these things that are quote unquote abnormal. Actually not abnormal, they're very normal. And I just feel like we should be a little more educated so that when the time comes, we're not making fun of people or putting other people down and making them feel bad. The introduction of sex, on how to do it, other than just putting on a condom and making sure that the little balloon is up or whatnot, should be much more emphasized. They should teach both male and women, how to be properly lubricated so that later the condoms don't break, because I feel like they kind of go over these things, but it's very over the top, and I just feel like they need to be a little more invasive. I feel like they're going over the top so that maybe the kids don't get excited or it doesn't become awkward or whatnot, but I think that they're very important things to avoid further problems like the condom breaking and causing an STD, or the condom breaking and a girl being pregnant, and both teenagers not having money to pay for an abortion or not having money to afford a kid. So those are just some of the things that I wish they would have covered more in sex ed to prevent, future mistakes, unwanted kids, unwanted circumstances, and just be more open about sex and the process, and stop making it so taboo, so that we can really educate these kids and teach them the morals and principles that they're not really taught at home. Maybe the education isn't enough. Maybe the whole principles, morals, and values of sex are important to teach in school as well.